everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with another reading vlog, but this time I'm starting an all-new reading vlog series, and that is for my very first reread of the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. So it's been just about a year now since I have really gotten back into reading for fun, which has just been really great, and this series has been on my TBR ever since then. So since this is my very first reread, I thought it would be really cool to document my experience via reading vlogs. So each vlog is going to cover each book in the series, so there will be 7 vlogs. And in case you're curious, the edition that I have is actually a hardcover of the new UK editions that Bloomsbury came out with. I think these were published back in around 2014. What's also really cool is, as much as I love the cover, the naked hardback of these are just gorgeous. You can see like pretty little magical particles on there. I got a whole set of the hardcovers on Amazon, I think, and it wasn't too expensive. I'll see if I can find a link to it either on Amazon or Book Depository. So I'm gonna put this book down for a second because I want to talk to you guys about my kind of weird reading journey with the Harry Potter series. So like I said, I've only read through the series once, and I read the first 4 books back when the first couple of movies were coming out, and for some reason I stopped reading them after the 4th book. I have no idea why. It's not like I hated them. I really wasn't reading all that much when I was younger. I did read a few books here and there, but I wasn't really reading, especially not the volume that I read today. And so I stopped reading after the 4th book, and I didn't pick up the 5th book until I think 2011, which was the year that I graduated high school. I owned the first 4 books in paperback form, and then my brother had a whole like hardcover set, so I just borrowed his copies of the last 3 books and finally finished out the series in 2011. So I remember really nothing from the first 4 books except for major plot points, just because I've watched the movies so many times. So yeah, all that to say that a reread was definitely overdue, and I am already just loving this so much, and I knew I would. Just to let you guys know, I am on page 94, and that is chapter 6, The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. So we are about to meet Ron and Hermione. Just so you guys know as well, I am definitely going to include all of the spoilers in these vlogs, just because I know that all of you guys at least know the movies, so you know all the plot twists and all the things like that. So yeah, I've read almost 100 pages so far, and I have just realized how much I have forgotten from these books, because like I said, I've only read this book once, and it was years and years ago. I was a child. You know, one of the things I forgot about this story is how it begins, actually. I assumed that it began the way that the movie does, where it's just Dumbledore, Professor McGonagall, and Hagrid dropping off Harry to be taken care of by the Dursleys, but it actually starts that day, like earlier that day, and it's really funny. It basically chronicles Mr. Dursley's day and how he's seeing all of these like strangely dressed people in robes, and they're whispering to each other about a boy named Harry Potter, which Mr. Dursley of course recognizes because he's pretty sure that that is the name of Lily and James's son. And yeah, it's just really funny to see his reactions. One interaction in particular that I found really funny, let's see, he bumps into this man, and the man is wearing this violet cloak. And it says, he didn't seem at all upset at being almost knocked to the ground. On the contrary, his face split into a wide smile, and he said in a squeaky voice that made passers-by stare, "Don't be sorry, my dear sir, for nothing could upset me today. Rejoice, for you know who has gone at last. Even muggles like yourself should be celebrating this happy day." Like, I really just don't remember that this book chronicled stuff like this. I think it's really cool that we're already seeing early in the book interactions between witches and wizards and muggles. I'm also recognizing that quite a few lines of dialogue that are in the movie are taken directly from the book word for word, which is actually something that I really enjoy. I actually really love the first 2 Harry Potter movies. To me, they were the closest to the books, and they were the most authentic to the aesthetic of the books. So something that I wanted to note is when Harry is in Ollivander's getting his wand. This is something that I completely forgot about. I don't even think that this is explained in the movie, how wands are made or what they're made of. But basically, Ollivander explains, he says, "Every Ollivander wand has a core of a powerful magic substance, Mr. Potter. We use unicorn hairs, phoenix tail feathers, and the heartstrings of dragons. No two Ollivander wands are the same, just as no two unicorns, dragons, or phoenixes are quite the same. So I thought that was interesting. I definitely put a blue tab on that. Blue tabs are what I use for important world building information. But yeah, I'm loving this so far. I'm not too far into the story, so I will definitely update you guys as I go along. Hey guys, it is Saturday afternoon. I thought I would do something a little bit different and give you guys a reading update in my car. I am currently sitting here eating McDonald's because I am trash and I just got out of opera rehearsal and I am really hungry, but I wanted to give you guys a reading update about Harry Potter. So I am on page 175 and that is a little more than halfway. And there's just a couple of things that I wanted to discuss. Mainly, I feel like these Harry Potter reading vlogs are going to be me talking about all of the things that I've completely forgotten from the books because I've only read them once and I read them years ago. But one thing that I didn't realize is that Ron and Harry do not become friends with Hermione right away. We're about halfway through and they still are not acknowledging her as a friend. She's also not really trying to join their friend group, but right now they're just really annoyed with her, which I just like don't remember happening. I just kind of remember that the three of them became friends pretty instantly in the story, but maybe that's more along the lines of the movie. And then also I never realized that Harry meets Draco Malfoy way before they even get to Hogwarts, because in the movie they meet like when they're waiting to go into the Great Hall to like have the Sorting Hat put on them and stuff. But in the book they actually meet in Diagon Alley when they're both shopping for school robes. And Harry doesn't know the boy's name, but he immediately just gets a yikes impression of him because he pretty much right away talks about how Muggleborns are inferior to purebloods and like different things like that. And then when they're on the train, Malfoy and his friends like seek out Harry, and basically Malfoy wants to be his friend because Harry's famous. And this is when Harry says that iconic line of like, I think I can find the right sort for myself, thanks. I love that line. It's one of my favorites from the movie. Chapter that I just stopped reading on was called The Midnight Duel, and I definitely don't remember this, but Malfoy challenges Harry to a duel at midnight in this random trophy room or something. And Harry, Ron, Neville, and Hermione all end up showing up for various reasons. They end up together. And Malfoy never shows up, but it's assumed that Malfoy actually like sold them out to Filch, because all of a sudden Filch shows up and they have to like run away, and they also run into the three-headed dog along the way. But yeah, I kind of wish that the duel would have gone through because I would have loved to see that, although I know that they have a duel in Chamber of Secrets, but it's like a supervised duel, so that's like it's not as exciting. I don't know. I was like high-key excited for this duel and then it didn't happen. But yeah, so I like just stopped before the Halloween chapter, which is when like the troll is in the dungeon and stuff. So yeah, I think that's it for my like little discussion for now. I'm also listening to an audiobook. I'm listening to Prodigy by Marie Lu. This is book 2 of the Legend trilogy. I think I'm like 30% of the way through at this point and I don't really have any thoughts. I enjoyed Legend. I gave it like 3.5 stars. I'll definitely cover that in my August wrap up. But yeah, I am going to be listening to that audiobook while eating my McDonald's because like I said, I am trash. Hey guys, what's up? It is Monday afternoon. I actually finished reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on Saturday night. And so I really wanted to kind of get my final thoughts done and everything because I really want to edit and upload this video by Wednesday. That's when I want this video to go up. Okay, so I have a few topics that I want to discuss. The first one being Harry's bravery. You know, I always remembered Harry in this first book being very meek and mild, and I always just kind of remembered that he didn't really start coming into his own until Chamber of Secrets, kind of Prisoner of Azkaban. But he is actually very brave in this book, even well before like the climax with Professor Quirrell / Voldemort. There's moments specifically in this book where he does stand up for himself as well as his friends. So we do see little things here and there that show that Harry really does belong in Gryffindor and he is a very brave person. So the next thing I want to discuss is Dumbledore's role in getting Harry out of the situation with Quirrell and Voldemort. It's actually interesting to me how different the scenes are between the movie and the book, because in the movie Harry actually turned Quirrell to dust by just like putting his hands on his face, and in the book he tried to do the same thing, but instead of him turning into dust, he was actually just in a lot of pain. And then we see that Harry just kind of passes out, and then he wakes up in the hospital, and Dumbledore tells him that he came to save him, and he must have gotten rid of Quirrell / Voldemort in some way. I don't think it's made very clear how he does that, but we do know that Voldemort is ultimately afraid of Dumbledore. And then there are a few things about this scene between Dumbledore and Harry that I found to be very interesting that I wanted to discuss. One of them being the fact that Dumbledore tells Harry that James, his father, saved Snape at one point, and so Snape feels like he has to kind of fulfill a debt to James, which is why he feels the need to protect Harry during this book. And I do not remember that being a thing. I'm sure that will probably be revealed by the time Prisoner of Azkaban comes along, but I'm very interested to know what the circumstances were with James saving Snape. And then also concerning this same scene, there were a lot of really great quotes from Dumbledore that I just don't remember him being this iconic, but of course he is. One of the quotes that he says, he's basically talking to Harry about how Nicholas Flamel and his wife are going to pass away because they have destroyed the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone. And Harry is just very amazed by this. And so Dumbledore says, "To one as young as you, I'm sure it seems incredible, but to Nicholas and Perenelle, it really is like going to bed after a very, very long day." And then this is the quote that I really loved. "After all, to the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure." And then Harry goes on to ask him about Voldemort, but he's afraid to say his name, so he goes to say you-know-who. And then Dumbledore says, "Call him Voldemort, Harry. Always use the proper name for things. Fear of a name increases fear of the thing itself." Man, Dumbledore is just dropping these truth bombs. There's a few more quotes that I really love. Because Harry's like, "Sir, there are some other things I'd like to know if you can tell me, things I want to know the truth about." So Dumbledore says, "The truth." Dumbledore sighed. "It is a beautiful and terrible thing and should therefore be treated with great caution." And then Harry asks him, "But why couldn't Quirrell touch me?" And Dumbledore says, "Your mother died to save you. If there is one thing Voldemort cannot understand, it is love. He didn't realize that love as powerful as your mother's for you leaves its own mark, not a scar, no visible sign. To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever." That quote made me so sad, but also just so happy. So yeah, I definitely want to make a point to mention those quotes, because Dumbledore, man, from the very beginning, he is just dropping some knowledge. The next thing I wanted to discuss is Neville. Oh my god, I'm just reminded of how much I adore Neville. He is probably my favorite character in the series, even though of course Harry, Ron, and Hermione are the main characters, and I of course love them dearly. But Neville is just so great, and oh man, at the very end when Dumbledore is talking about the House Cup, and he not only awards 50 points each to Hermione, Ron, and Harry, and that made me tear up, but then when he awards 10 points to Neville for standing up to not only bullies but his friends, man, that just gets me every time. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything for this discussion about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you would consider subscribing. Don't forget to push that notification bell button below so that you will be notified every time I upload. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!